Hi, Jim Rover from BestWeatherInc.com, the only all-commodity weather newsletter in the world that focuses on ETFs, futures, and options for traders in 12 different countries. Let's talk about why the hurricane season has gotten off to a slow start. First of all, this is the third straight year of La Nina. Typically, you see a very active hurricane season. And what's going on right now? Well, typically, you see that the jet stream pattern for this time of the year, look to the left, in August, you will see storm tracks develop typically out over the central Atlantic and move into the Gulf Coast or Northeast during the late part of July and August. And then on the bottom of your screen there's more of a storm track actually late September and October. Typically begins over the Gulf of Mexico. So why has the season been relatively slow so far? Again, it's only early August. Has to do with African dust. Look at this. The red area you see is dust that kills tropical development off the coast of West Africa. And one reason why we're seeing a slow season, but really the season doesn't actually peak until we get deeper into September and October. As you can see there in the red, the most hurricanes typically occur the first week or two of September, and then goes down there pretty much thereafter into October and November. We've had over 20 to 25 storms the last 3 or 4 years, in part because of climate change, a warming ocean, and also La Nina the last 2 or 3 years. But how about this year? These are the ocean temperatures now that will affect the hurricane season the next 8 to 12 weeks. The neutral TNA off the coast of West Africa actually is a cooling feature, which could hurt the hurricane season somewhat, reduce it. The warm Gulf of Mexico, though, has to be watched. Storms can explode like they've had the last 2 or 3 years from nowhere in the Gulf, particularly in September and October. Cool Nina 1.2, we still have a La Nina, as you see there off the coast of Peru, typically reduces shear and can increase the hurricane season. But this is what we're looking at right now, okay? This is 2018. Record heat like this summer over much of Western through Central Europe. That huge ridge, that red ridge you see there, produces a anti-cyclone flow, a flow from a clockwise circulation, can produce strong winds in Africa and produce the African dust like we're seeing right now. So that can kill the hurricane season early on, and then the Gulf Coast becomes more of a factor away from the dust in September and October, which could see potential explosive development. So this is the way the pattern looks right now. Similar, as you see, to 2018, record heat over Europe, and that's creating this dust off the west coast of Africa. So what do we see now for the third year of La Nina? We have analog years from our in-house Climate Predict program. As a subscriber to Weather Wealth or any of my newsletters, you get this access for free to look at weather patterns around the world going back 50 to 70 years and to make your own judgments, as well as with my help, about long-range forecasting for commodities. Here are the analog years with the heat over Europe, as well as the third year of La Nina. And as you can see, these are the projected storm tracks. Here's a couple of the years, like 1996. Notice that the ACE, the Atlantic Cyclone Energy, generally pretty high, but not really as high as the last 2 or 3 years. What that means is the hurricane season could be a little bit weaker than it has been the last several years. And notice the storm tracks out over in the Atlantic, most of them, as opposed to the Gulf of Mexico, which really impacted crude and natural gas production over the last few years. Remember, Harvey a few years ago wiped out the natural gas facilities as well as refineries in Houston, created a spike in gasoline and heating oil during the month of August and September. That's one of the analog years. And here's another one, okay? This, again, a combination of some of the heat over Europe and the third year of La Nina. Notice the ACE, again, Atlantic Cyclone Energy at only 125. Typically, the last few years, it's been over 200. Notice in this particular analog year that we only had 9 named storms. The NS you see there, 7 hurricanes, 2 major hurricanes. So the bottom line is with all this, that the hurricane season could be a little bit weaker than many other meteorologists are predicting because of the African dust, the warm weather over in Europe, even though we have a La Nina. But again, the Gulf Coast is very, very warm, and things could begin to explode as we get into the latter part of the fall. But on average, the hurricane season could be weaker than normal, even with La Nina. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to my website, Weather Wealth. We give you all sorts of trading ideas from grains and natural gas and soft commodities, how to use options, futures, spreads, things like that. Enjoy. Thank you.